What's up, people? It's your girl Adeola. First of all, my sincere condolences to the people of Kenya. Many of them are still in shock after going through 4 days of nightmare as Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab group took over the Westgate Mall. The terrorists killed 61 civilians, 61. 6 members of the security forces were also killed, and several other Kenyans are still unaccounted for. Although 5 of the terrorist members were killed in the combat, and about 11 of them are now in police custody. Indeed, the whole world mourns with Kenya. May their souls rest in peace. I, however, would like to commend the Kenyan government over the manner in which they handled the attack, starting with the Kenyan president, Uhuru Kenyatta. He was there for his people until the end of the attack. He did not jet out to New York for the UN General Assembly. You guys know that he was scheduled to address the assembly last Wednesday. That would have been his first UN address, since he became the president. But he cancelled that trip. So he started addressing the nation on national TV from the first day of the attack. Sometimes he would even address the nation more than once in a day. Can you imagine? And he was taking questions, uncensored questions from the journalists in Kenya. This is a president that values the lives of his people. So guess what? Other countries came in to help Kenya. Security experts from the US, from Britain, Israel, Germany, Canada, they all came to Kenya's aid. Kenyan hospitals should also be commended because they had ambulances on standby taking people to the hospital. You know that the death casualty would have been even more than that if not for the fact that they had ambulances ready to take people to the hospital. And regular citizens, they all lined up, willingly donating blood for the injured. So I salute all the people of Kenya for uniting and going through this tough time together. Although I agree with the fact that Kenya definitely has to tighten up its security, yet I like to admire the fact that 6 officers laid down their lives for their people in this attack, and they did not accidentally shoot civilians. In fact, I heard that the policemen were, wait, why is this up on the screen? Are you trying to paint Nigeria bad? We're talking about Kenya. Why can't you just for once pay attention? You're always looking for trouble. Take the thing down, my friend. Lastly, I want to commend Kenyan journalists. Some of them went right inside the mall even while the attack was going on. They really put their lives on the line just to bring us updates and live coverage. Do you guys know that Kenyan televisions had a live feed of the attack the whole time? I mean, we were all watching it live and direct. I'm not trying to point fingers, but apart from Channels TV and AIT in Nigeria, I keep wondering which other station provides us with live feed. Oh, wait a minute. NTA, yes. Oh, that's my favorite. Seriously. In fact, I think the news may be on right now. Are you serious? Seriously? Are you kidding me right now? That was the same music they were playing when I was a kid. Really? Y'all didn't change that song till now? I should pause all the organs at NTA right now. All of you, pause. Hello, this is 2013, and if you want us to watch, upgrade, yes. By the way, the government tells us that they spend millions of naira upgrading NTA. What exactly are they upgrading? No, for real, what exactly are they upgrading? I don't see it. And can you please have some young faces on air? I'm not saying that you should get rid of the older people. Just add some young blood. You get what I'm saying? And please, NTA. Whenever about 20 people die, stop telling us that it's only 5 people. That is why some of us don't watch anymore. Although I don't blame you because you're owned by the federal government and you have to say whatever the government wants you to say. Voila! Can you imagine if NTA is providing us with live feed of serious events? Not like when Madame is opening air salon or something, no. But like when they are evacuating people from the Boko Haram areas and we see our soldiers like this in action. I like to see Nigerian policemen in action. No, seriously, like live and direct, telling people, go, go, go. Like the Kenyan police, we saw them now, they were like this. Sorry. Why can't we see Nigerian policemen and soldiers in action like that? NTA, eh? And if you see them taking bribe on the road too, we like to see it live and direct. People will tune in, we'll all watch. And lastly, I'd like to give a shout out to Kenyan president who declared 3 days of mourning because they lost 6 to 7 people in that attack. I mean, that speaks volumes to me because in Nigeria, we've lost thousands of lives to Boko Haram. Until today, my people, we've not had one day of national mourning for the victims of Boko Haram since 2009. My people, I mean, how can a whole nation forget to pay respect to those who were killed in acts of terrorism? This is a very serious issue, so please don't make me laugh. But is it true that a Nigerian president offered to help Kenya when Al-Shabaab attacked them? That they offered to help Kenya overcome terrorism? Is it true? I promise I will not laugh. Give me 1 minute, I'll be right back. So is it true? Anyway, I got online trying to find out if this was true, and I saw a lot of Nigerians outraged. These people are not even afraid. Many of them told Mr. President, can we at least take care of our own terrorism challenges first and foremost? Somebody said that charity begins at home, Mr. President. And can you imagine that some people were not even polite? You know, they said to Mr. President, face your business. Okay, you know, can you imagine? Me, I was just looking at the whole thing. I didn't say anything. For where? So, to all my Kenyan people, please remain strong and don't be discouraged at all by what has happened. Keep standing for justice like you're doing in Somalia. As you guys know, Kenya was attacked because they sent troops to Somalia. Wait a minute, didn't we also send troops to Somalia? Ooh, snap. Don't say it, mama. Don't say it. I mean, what if it backfires like it did in Kenya? I'm not saying that we should pull out of Somalia, but are we prepared for, I mean, never mind. We just have to say back to the sender, you know, like we always do in Nigeria. Just like Jay-Z said, we got 99 problems in Nigeria, but not preparing for something ain't one of our problems at all. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. So, Nigerian president was here last week for the UN General Assembly, and for days I was trying to get an interview. They said no. Finally, I saw Mr. President walking out of the UN on the streets of New York, and I ran after him, you know, not just me. Shout out to the camera guy, Samiman, Jobless, and Miss Tracy for taking care of sound. So, take a look. What exactly you are doing to help to stop Boko Haram? I know that you declared state of emergency and all that.
We are working very hard on that.
Yeah, how exactly, sir?
We are working very hard.
And 3,000 people have died.
Maybe you need to update your statistics.
Well, Mr. President is absolutely right. I need to upgrade my facts, okay? I am so sorry, Mr. President. You see, that 3,000 figure that I gave you was as of 2012, according to the Chief of Army Staff. That is General Azubi Ihejirika. Unless the general is lying. You get what I'm saying? So I definitely would update next time. You know, for example, I just saw on PM News that about 12,000 people have been killed by Boko Haram. Are you for real? Unless PM News is lying. I guess somewhere between 3,000 and 12,000 people. Now, regarding his answer.
We are working very hard.
What does that mean? Do you know what that means? You know what? All of you don't know what that. Me too. I don't know what it means. I'm sorry, Mr. President. We don't really know what that means, that you're working hard, because you've been telling us that for a long time. Guess what? Boko Haram killed 159 of your citizens last week, just before you left for the UN, while you were working hard. Next time, Mr. President, can you be more specific about what your plans are? In fact, that will help us to know how to pray better, especially since, you know, offering them amnesty did not work and declaring state of emergency did not work either. We need to know what is plan C and D. Also, I got to ask him about the $1 billion sovereign wealth fund.
Sovereign fund is for the interest of the nation.
Okay.
It's not for the interest of Mr. President.
Yeah. How exactly is it for the interest?
Anybody who is disagreeing with sovereign fund doesn't really appreciate how nations manage their resources. That is one thing we have done, that all the professionals, both World Bank, IMF, AFC and other institutions that manage finances all over the world appreciate that the government has a focus.
So recently, the federal government took out $1 billion from our excess crude account to start what they call sovereign wealth fund. Now, this is when a government takes money from a country's reserve and they set it aside for investment purposes, so that if they make profit, that would benefit the country's economy and the citizens of that country. I mean, it's a smart thing to do, right? Of course, many countries are doing this. Like Singapore has $458 billion in sovereign wealth fund. I mean, Singapore got their independence after Nigeria, right? See, even Malaysia has $39 billion. Libya has $65 billion. Botswana, but that small Botswana, has $6 billion. No offense, my people from Botswana. In size, you are smaller than we are. That is what I'm trying to say. But you guys are doing a really good job of developing your country. I'm very, very proud of all my friends from Botswana. One love, yeah, one love. And Qatar, guess what? Has $115 billion in sovereign wealth fund. Hello. So personally, I admire Nigerian government for trying to invest 1 billion of our money. I noticed though that all these countries that have this sovereign wealth fund, they've actually taken care of basic amenities in their countries. They've taken care of their roads, yes, and they have constant electricity. They also have great hospitals, my people, and their education system is sound, as in there is nothing like ASU strike in any of these countries. And because they took care of basic things, it's helping their economy to thrive, so they generate more income and they are able to invest even more money without hurting their citizens. Also, these countries don't take their money to invest in another country. At least not all the money is taken abroad for investment in stock and bonds. If they do that, we would say that they are gambling with the money, as in playing kalo kalo. You get what I'm saying. Yes, America has $114 billion in sovereign wealth fund, and my people, that is different from individual states of the US, by the way. For example, Texas state alone has like $35 billion in sovereign wealth fund, but they don't take that money to invest in other countries. In fact, when their economy is bad in this America, they would rather invest that money in their country. They would use it to create jobs. They will use it to invest in their healthcare system, so that people will come from outside America for medical treatment, and they will charge them gold. You see, they are bringing in money into their country. Sometimes America will even build a bridge to nowhere just to create jobs for their people. The roads in this country don't get potholes before they start to repair them, just to make sure that people are working. And they also use the money to strengthen their education system, which is why we prefer to come to America to study, even though we have to pay billions of naira. Hello, do you know how much Nigerian students are paying to go to school in this America? Yeah, that's because America took care of their education system. The point I'm making is, why can't we take care of basic things first and foremost? What's the essence of looking good in front of the World Bank, IMF, and what else did Mr. President say?
AFC and other institutions.
Yes, that one. What's the essence of looking good in front of them when our tertiary education has been on hold for the past, wait a minute, people have been out of school for like 3 months already? Oh my god, that is a disaster. How much are these lecturers asking for, by the way? 92 billion naira, that's it? And the federal government keeps telling them they don't have money yet. They're gambling with $1 billion. Hello, seriously, if the federal government can just take care of ASU and upgrade our institutions with this $1 billion, do you know that that is an investment that would yield great returns? And in fact, they would have change left. Yes, imagine if our universities and our polytechnics are well equipped. Nigerian scholars would top the world in so many areas, in science, in research, in so many areas, because you guys know that Nigerians, we are very smart. Even with the way our schools are right now, we're still very smart. Don't play with us. And we will attract a lot of international students into Nigeria if our schools are really good. So instead of us paying billions of naira to go to school in Ghana and hundreds of billions of naira to go to school in America, other people will be the ones paying us billions just to attend our schools. You see what I'm saying? Am I making any sense? But that is just one of the many ways that the federal government could invest this money right inside Nigeria instead of buying stock and bonds. By the way, the man in charge of this money, Mr. Oji Uche, earlier this month said there is still a lot I'm not comfortable with in developed market equities. I'm not going to try to be a hero and catch a falling knife with people's money. You see, now Mr. President made a statement when he was here in New York last week that $1 billion is not enough. That means that they're ready to take even more of your money to America to gamble, which is why the governors are not in support of this. I know that the president said that the governors are in support, but no, they are not. I mean, I'm not saying that the president lied, because I can never ever say that an elderly person lied. I mean, that would be disrespectful. But the governors took the case to court, and the court told them to go and settle it among themselves amicably. I know that Madam Ngozi announced that the governors are in support. The whole thing is her idea, but the governors are saying something else, although that depends on which governor you're talking to anyways, because now we have some governors that are for Mr. President and some governors are not for Mr. President. Hey, you get what I'm saying? Personally, I don't trust the governors, because even though they are fighting that they should bring this money to Nigeria, if they have access to this money, they will only waste it. Most of them, to me, they're just fighting for their own shares. But it's very sad that many Nigerians are not asking any questions about this money. Today, it's just $1 billion. Already, they are trying to make it $2 billion of your money. And that's because you didn't ask any questions when they took the $1 billion. If you don't say anything, someday they will take $10 billion to go and gamble. And we are borrowing money from China. Does that make sense? Don't get me wrong, investment is a good thing, but not when you are borrowing money from other people and then we are putting our money in stocks and bonds, which may or may not yield profit. In fact, we may lose the money. That is why I'm calling it gambling. If they tell us someday that, oh, we lost the money, who do we hold responsible? And let's say that they didn't even lose the money. Let's say they made some profit from the money. Who's going to tell us about that profit? How do we know? Do I need to remind you that President Olusegun Obasanjo left $60 billion in excess crude accounts? 60 billion, and already they've depleted that. Why didn't they use some of that money to invest? Anyway, what do I know? You guys do that. I don't know much, I prefer to talk about something fun. Why don't we talk about what it's like to ambush the president of Nigeria? What? That is not correct. I'm just keeping it real. So, for those people who complain that I never say good things about Nigerian president, well, guess what? Today, everything I'm going to say about Nigerian president, they are all good things. Everything. And this is because I saw him grant an interview to one cute young lady like this on the streets of New York. I was like, this is true democracy, Go, Jonah. I just want to thank His Excellency for granting that cute lady, not that one, Abi, you are looking for trouble. Yes, that one. Yes, for granting her, just 1 minute of his time. That was wonderful. A lot of people are actually complimenting the president for answering her questions. Even me, I compliment you, my guy at the top. Of course, she can never try that in Nigeria. Hello, as in hello. And that is a problem. When a leader cannot be approached by his people in his country, that is a problem. If you want my advice, Mr. President, I think you should do things like this more often. Yes, the man was very gracious. He was ready to answer all her questions, except that there were some enemies of progress around Mr. President that were trying to stop that girl. Did you guys notice? That woman at the back, yes, she kept pulling her purse. I watched that video very carefully. I watched it. She was like pulling her. The whole time the girl was like, I beg, leave me alone, madam. In fact, I was so worried for that purse. I wasn't afraid for the girl, but her purse. It's funny because all the men that were working with Mr. President, they did not harass that girl, except, the security guy. Yes, he's just doing his job. The Minister of Justice was there. He didn't interrupt. And the governor of Ondo was there. He didn't pull the girl once, but it was the women, including the madam from Nigeria House. They kept telling the girl to stop. As a woman, I thought that these women would be proud to see a young woman step forward to address her president, even though she's nobody. She's still like your daughter. I know you will say my daughter can never do anything like that. She wasn't rude to Mr. President, madam. She was just doing her job. And you know what I heard that young lady is campaigning to be first lady someday. I'm like, if she becomes the first lady, all of those people. A lot of people have written me that girl cannot do that to Obama. Why did she disrespect Nigerian president? I don't think that she disrespected the president because, I was able to get an exclusive video of where Mr. President and that girl were talking after the interview. Take a look. Oh, please, let me take a picture with him. No. Just get me next to him. Thank you, Mr. President. You're actually a nice person. I do a show every week and I talk about you.
Thank you.
I hope you're watching it. The guy was laughing the whole time. I think he actually enjoyed that conversation. Second of all, you don't need to ambush Barack Obama because he's periodically granting press conferences. He takes questions from reporters all the time. TV stations in his country interview him and they never have to send their questions in advance. I'm not saying that Nigerian president doesn't grant interviews. No. Even when he was here, he granted an interview to CNN, one to Fox. Did he grant any interview to Nigerian journalists that are here and the ones that came with him, you know, like a press conference where people get to ask questions and he would answer? No. Although that's partly our fault because I was told that we were supposed to make the request before he left Nigeria. See? Why won't she run after him when she saw him on the street? And then somebody else sent me an email that, oh, if this lady should try this in Nigeria, they would beat her up. I was like, really? That's the kind of government that you want? Huh? A government that would beat up a young lady, a cute one by the way, just because she approached her president? Shame on you. The point I'm making is here in America, the president and his wife are human beings and they relate with their citizens. For example, this is Obama carrying somebody else's baby while he was giving a speech. One time he went to eat at a restaurant and the restaurant owner carried him. No security guard harassed the guy, by the way, for carrying the president of the United States of America. Obama carries his own bag whenever he's traveling and people actually respect him for that. Yes, they don't look down on him because of that. And this right here is Obama cooking in the kitchen, yes, with his daughter, volunteering. Oh, this is my favorite, Obama delivering pizza. Can you imagine? He delivered pizza for his own workers. Yes, so that is the president of the United States of America. And not just him, the vice president takes the train to Washington. Do you know that? Joe Biden takes Amtrak. And that is the same train that I take when I'm going to Washington. They will just tell us, oh, by the way, the vice president is in the first car. And guess what? There would be passengers chatting with him on the train. Even the first lady, Michelle Obama. What's up, Michelle? That's my role model right there. I'm still waiting for you to invite me to the White House, sis. No, for real, I'm not joking. Michelle gardens in the compound of the White House. Of course, she has people helping her, but she gets dirty walking on her vegetables. Oh, this is one of my favorites. That's Michelle. Sup, Michelle? Serving homeless people food. Can you imagine? And you see that the guy that is taking her picture doesn't even look like he's somebody. I'm not saying that he's nobody. Sorry about that, but I'm trying to say that take a look at his phone now. Even me, that I say that I'm nobody, my phone is still looking better and nobody is harassing the guy. In fact, she's even posing for the picture. And let me tell you, people take a tour of the White House all the time. How many people have taken a tour of Aso Rock? My point is, Mr. President, it's okay if you get out of the box once in a while. Do something you normally don't do. Once in a while, change that your outfit. Oh God, it's true. I'm not kidding. Like, for real, change that outfit. Once in a while, eat boli, eat mama, know what ordinary people are eating. And you know what? You should be watching shows like this. This is how you get to know what people are actually saying about you. And this is not just for the president. This is for all our ogas at the top, especially Nigerian women. Once in a while, relate with your workers. Get to know what's going on in their lives. Ask about their children. Ask about their education. Ask about their dreams. Because someone once told me that be nice to the people you meet on your way up, because you may meet the same people on your way down. I don't know what that means. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just saying that be nice to people now, at least for the sake of your children. You don't want somebody to mistreat your child for something that you did. But what do I know? I'm just keeping it real. Before I leave today, I like to read some of your emails, and the first one is from Raphael Mbachu, and he says, "Hi Adeola, when you talked about Ngosi's mother being kidnapped for lack of security in Nigeria and then after 6 days she was found, my younger brother disappeared in broad daylight about 2 years ago, and the policemen whom we reported to have not been able to do anything about it." I'm so sorry, Raphael, to hear about this. For the past 2 years, the police have nothing to tell you about this case. That's really sad. And guess what? You're not the only one that have shared something like this that you're going through because of lack of adequate security in Nigeria. I mean, I can't even say that I understand or that I can even imagine what you guys have been through in the past 2 years. But you know what? Keep being strong. I honestly don't know what to tell you, but it's really sad that this this is happening in the giants of Africa. Our next email is from Tayo Adedokun, and she says, hello Adeola. My husband and I couldn't stop laughing when we saw the clip of the Kenyan teacher that kept calling right light. I'm sure you guys remember that clip from last week. Actually, that teacher must be Kikuyu by tribe. Oh, okay. The Kikuyus typically pronounce R as L and L as R. Oh, I didn't know that. Like, honestly, I didn't know that. So my apologies to that teacher, but I had to catch that. But thank you for educating me. Our next email is from Bello Hamza, and he says, hi Adeola, I'm Hausa Fulani from Kano, and I'm an electrical engineer by profession. Since I started watching Keeping It Real, I'm feeling as if I'm going to marry a Yoruba woman. Oh, good for you. You know what? I love when I see homes that look like United Nations. Of course, why not? Go for it. Make sure you love her, though. I live in Turkey right now, and there's nothing I watch since I left home that makes me really happy, like your video. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you're watching from Turkey. And our next email is from Oluwatoyin Olabisi. Hi Adeola, I strayed upon your video and I was held to my seat until the end of the episode despite the fact that hunger was ravaging my tummy. Oh, are you serious? I am so sorry. And thumbs up, sister. And before you go on assuming that I'm a lady, I should state it now. I am a man. Okay, Mr. Oluwatoyin Olabisi from South Africa. Thank you for writing, and please do not starve yourself because you're trying to watch Keeping It Real. For real. Next time, you can actually pause that video. Yes, the pause button works. And then go and get your food and come back and sit down while you're eating the food. You can be watching Keeping It Real. You get what I'm saying, eh? Our next email is from Banjo Adelakun, and he says, hello my friend, I will be available to teach you Igbo language so that you can do one of your shows in Igbo language very soon. Really, wait a minute. His name is Banjo Adelakun, and he wants to teach me Igbo, eh? What an insult. I have a feeling even he himself cannot speak Igbo. If you can speak Igbo, why didn't you write this email in Igbo? Because Banjo Adelakun is a Yoruba name, right? You're trying to trick me, eh? Tofi Aqua. What is that? What does that mean? I don't even know. Something like that, eh? Anyway, that's all the time that I have for emails today. Please keep sending your emails to adeola.keepingitreal@gmail.com. Alright y'all, it's been real, and I'm keeping it real right up in here. Until next week, I'ma see y'all later. Peace out.